What's going on, guys? As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment. Without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. So basically, I just want to go over some of our success, failures, where we're standing at, some additions, and just kind of show y'all where we're at. So basically, as y'all are familiar with, we have this raised bed. It got thick. Our sunflowers are coming through that we started from seed. Canna plant filling out nicely. Mosquito plant's coming back. Our corn is tall. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's at about hip height right here. So one of the issues I guess we could jump into is this is a Italian trombone squash, and it is outgrowing our landrace. I think our landrace stuff was kind of built to be a little bit more on the side of like slow and steady. You know, it's covered with flowers, you can kind of see. So is this guy here. It's possible that we're going to have to do a lot more trimming than we initially anticipated. Another issue is I think if I ever had to do this again, what I need to do is actually do the tarp method, to where it spends 30 to 90 days with the tarp on it, suffocating all the grass and stuff out. Because as you can see, we've been having to go through pretty regularly. See if we can get a good shot of this. And this is just the Bermuda grass coming through. So we are having to come somewhat regularly out and pull, you know, the weeds. I mean, it's not crazy. It was at first. We've kind of got past that point of where we were having to constantly pull weed seeds that were growing from the free material we got with the more leaves. They're pretty covered, and you can kind of see another one right here. It was loaded with these guys, but really as of late it's mostly been this Bermuda grass. So we're just kind of digging down every now and again, give it a good clean out. And, you know, we do have to kind of just generally monitor it. You can see there's some here and some more back over here. I haven't been out here in a few days, so as you can see, it's kind of coming through quite a bit due to that fact. But generally, every about 2 to 4 days, we'll kind of come out and just do what I'm doing right now. But that's one of the reasons that I think it would have been wise if we had done the blue tarp, or just a tarp method where it kind of gave us the ability to kill what was there instead of just turning over fertile soil on top of it. Another thing we've been having to do is actually monitor the growth of these potatoes and kind of cut them back, because we do have some other plants in the center, and I mean, they're just constantly getting shaded out. The rosemary doing great. We actually transplanted our mint to a larger container. Our aloe has increased in size as well. One of the issues we've had is over watering, under watering, but mostly a lot of sunburn. You can kind of see this discoloration. Actually, this is because it's still a small plant, so it doesn't really want as much sunlight as it's been getting until it gets established. Our loquat has been topped and doing great. We've added a lemon balm in there. This tub is doing phenomenal. Our lamb's ear has actually been placed in here. This is just carrots, onions. There's this is a garlic here. Of course, the bell pepper. They're fighting for survival, and this is doing phenomenal. Our blueberries are producing. We're waiting for them to turn. They've actually taken a lot longer than I expected. And we're going to need to go ahead and add a soil acidifier, because these guys are not happy with their current acidity. Lemongrass is coming out pretty strong. We also got some dragon fruit cuttings. As you can see, they're already starting to bud out. These little babies here, and then this little guy kind of up here. And we're just going to keep slowly trellising it up this. Over here, this is the garden sage. Same setup as the lamb's ear. You got carrots, some onions, bell pepper. The bell peppers are actually doing a lot better than I thought they were going to do. This is our new addition. This is actually an asparagus. These we got crowns that were 2 years old. for free. We did some trades with one of the neighbors, and so they gave us some crowns. I think there's 3 to 4 crowns in here, planted right next to each other. You can see there's one here, and there may be another one over here. So, but either way, we're going to let it kind of just fern out this year, and then next year we'll start taking a cut. This will be an asparagus plant. Strawberries have been producing. They've actually been, some of them have been really tart, and some have been really sweet. So we're just kind of playing around with that one. This actually, we had our plum tree in it, but the plum tree decided it was done. It wanted to die back, so we went ahead and put our asparagus in here. Our Vicks plant, I don't know if I've shown y'all this yet, but we do have a Vicks plant here. It's doing great. Again, you can see the yellowing. It's trying to transition with all the extra sunlight it's getting. Of course, we have our mountain laurel here. We have a moringa. That's either an apple or a pear there. And then that is actually an edible hibiscus. Another strawberry plant here. This is going to be for our hibiscus. This tomato is doing good, so this is going to be, I believe it's called beefsteak. We started this one from seed. Our parsley is coming out pretty hefty, and we actually had a Pride of Barbados. I thought all the seed had died back, but apparently it just decided to wait. So that means that the seed that I dumped, I probably could have actually grown. So what we'll do is we'll try to let it grow a little bit bigger and transfer that Pride of Barbados into a separate container. So even these guys here, you're supposed to normally cut off all these berries in the first year, but we're just going to go ahead and let it do its thing, see what happens. See, this strawberry here is pretty happy. We've actually had some issues with seeding this container here. So this is cucumber. I've tried some different seed, cucumbers and loofah. Neither of them seemed to pop. So I went ahead and I just heavy seeded to get something on the cucumbers, and they went ahead and started to pop. We'll have to let them grow out to see which it is, but the idea is that the green beans here and the cucumbers, we're going to be trellising them up this onto this pole here, and then letting them grow up this very, very tall pole. Basket of Fire has been growing pretty slow, but it is establishing, so we'll take it. I'm really happy with the density here. This here is a singular trombone squash that we're going to be trying. As you can see, we're trellising up. It's about time for me to retie it pretty soon. I'll probably have to tie it about right there. I believe this is a dill or a fennel. I don't remember which one it is. But again, you could see strawberries doing great. These tomatoes are our landrace tomatoes. I've noticed our our adaptive gardening seed. One, because they're old, because there was a year where we didn't really garden much. They haven't been popping as vigorously as they used to, as well as their initial growth is fairly slow. So I'm not sure if that's a benefit or a negative at this point. As we saw over here, how our adaptive gardening squash is actually growing significantly slower, but I really like this because I can have a couple more plants, but we have to compare production and stuff first. So we're not quite sure what we're going to do here. For sure we want them to breed, but we're still waiting to taste and see which squash we prefer and what does better. I'm not sure when our corn will produce, but hopefully it will be soon. Our lavender here, it's had some fresh growth. Honestly, we're still kind of learning with the lavender and the rosemary. We're not quite sure how they fit into our garden just yet and their growth habits. So we're going to be kind of playing with that, see how that goes. Another failure we had was actually our compost containers. So these guys here, as y'all probably remember, the containers themselves work, but the problem is that every year you have to actually like cover. So basically you take this guy here out, and you take dirt from there, pull it over here, dig yourself a new hole, and kind of keep starting. So because of the mushroom inoculations that we were doing, these guys aren't as healthy, as they're a little bit more full than they should be. We have harvested some oyster mushrooms so far, but we've mostly been trying to give them time to establish. So like this guy here is an example of one we moved. As you can see, it's not overflowing, it's a little bit healthier. And if I remember correctly, right here was actually the spot that the compost was actually at. So we have been getting some oysters popping up every now and again right around here. And here's another example of just the compost. We just filled it up trying to save the mycelium, and it just didn't work that well. Let's see if this guy, I think we already checked it, but yeah, and this guy here is also not doing too great. For the containers here, we did remove the ones from the tree, but we also removed the ones right here. And the garden sage and the lamb's ear are actually sitting on top of the old compost systems. So over here, we had grafted mulberries onto the fig. However, I had cut the fig back incorrectly. So as you can see here, how the bark is actually sitting on top of the main piece of the stem here. Well, the bark was actually lifted off almost this far, all the way around where I was trying to do the grafting, and I thought it was just part of the like a weird way it grew. But apparently, the top section of the fig here had not. It actually died back, so the mulberry did not take because of that. However, I am going to be interested to see if this is the kind of fig that produces in the first or second year wood, which we will be kind of playing with, and of course the green beans are coming through. And also, I forgot to mention, this stuff is spreading phenomenal. It's working perfectly, as you can see. So basically, when it gets kind of up this edge, we just take scissors and we just cut it back all the way through, kind of keep it lower, give it a nice low profile. Now in terms of the apple here, so this graft, see if we can get a good picture, did really well. This graft did good as well. Actually, all of them took initially, but this one I accidentally broke whenever I was trying to, let's see if we can get the, so at exactly 4 weeks in, I took off this stuff, and when I did it, I accidentally dislodged this and broke it. So it's gonna die back. I'm probably gonna take it, just cut it off here in a little bit. This guy here did pretty good as well. See if we can get a good shot here. I actually had to trim it right up here because it was already trying to flower and produce, which is too early because I literally just grafted it. So I cut the flowers off, and then also as some support, see if we can kind of get a better picture here. As a support, I went ahead and put the spray on it, that pruning spray, because I just needed to harden up and help it callus. I also added one right here, as you can see that union a little bit better, and so it's doing good. But essentially, like I said, everything took, including this one, but I made a mistake on that one. There's actually some pretty aggressive growth on this one. What I have noticed though is, so in 4 weeks it will callus over, but it's not very hardy. Now we do get a lot of wind through here, but considering these guys are considerably small, I was not too worried about it. Our biggest question that we have left, and we're not going to know until another year, is whether or not a graft this high up will actually resist the cold, or will it die back? I am very interested to see that, because normally, if y'all remember some of our older videos, on the side we will have a frost fabric, but up here will not actually be protected because we want it to get those chill hours. But as you can see, it was about this big when we started, and all of this in a month's time is new growth. So regardless, I'm pretty happy with that turnout. Now another thing we have, this is our last one here, the alyssum is doing phenomenal. And again, same thing, we've been kind of trimming it back as this is a ground cover. This is our basil from seed that we're starting out. We have some little blue bonnets. Mystic Spears is beginning its flowering cycle. I also had just some miscellaneous flower seeds such as marigolds and cosmos and stuff. Those are starting to kind of come out as well. We have our snapdragon here. It is one of the shorter ones. It's been flowering vigorously. As y'all can kind of see, it has some older and newer flowers going on there. We're just letting it all go to seed best we can. And the yarrow hasn't really done much, but honestly I'm kind of okay with it. It probably needs to be trimmed back here pretty soon, but we're just gonna let it cook and see what happens. Now we also had some trials for some cuttings. I've tried different things. This is a mulberry here, and this is a lemon, improved Meyer lemon here. This is also a mulberry. I believe this is like a white, this is like a red or black. I kind of forgot, to be honest. But nonetheless, we have these here. Those are the only two that have seemed to be even remotely trying to take. This is a Satsuma, I believe. We're going to be just having to wait and see. This is also a blueberry, an attempt to see how hard blueberry is, because I've never had success. And I just want to see what we could do with the good old sand and potting soil method. This is open. It's just 100% shade, just to see what they'll do. You know, give it a month or two. And then whatever lives, we'll go ahead before summer and pot it up in the shade as well. I'd say that's pretty much everything. We're also going to be experimenting to see how our dragon fruit here does in the colder months. Because in the colder months, we're actually going to have to be probably doing something to keep it from dying back. But, you know, we'll take it as it comes. I hope this helps you guys, and as always, we'll see y'all in the next video.